Welcome.
Welcome.
New Essentials Podcast. Pulling Smooth, we back again.
Yo.
How you been, brother? How was your week?
Well, we're alive, so that's a good thing.
Absolutely. The way the world going on right now,
Mm.
I'm thankful to be alive. But at the same time, before I introduce my guest, I want to say I am honored for them to be here.
Word up.
It's not often you in the presence of royalty.
Real talk.
Literally. Black queens.
Woo.
Literally. Supreme queens. Okay?
Supreme Queen.
You know what I'm saying? Intelligent, educated, beautiful, and also black, strong women at the same time.
All facts.
We don't give our black women their roses when they here, but for me, I'm going to give them their roses when they here.
100.
Without further ado, I want to introduce Ranisha Johnson and Rima Calloway, also known as Pops and Amy, the vegan hood chefs. Make some noise. There's no thank you from me. It's a thank you to y'all, literally. I appreciate y'all. Like I said, it's an honor for y'all to be here. I'm glad y'all said yes to come home. Like, this is a dope experience for me. I've been knowing y'all for a long time.
Likewise.
Me and Pops graduated high school together, literally.
We all went to them.
But for the people who don't know y'all, just give me a little spiel about who y'all are personally, then we'll get later into what you guys do business-wise and things like that.
I can start. So my name is Ranisha Johnson, also known as Pops. I'm from Baby Hunters Point, born and raised.
Shout out.
Word up.
Right, word. I'm a black queen. I mean, I guess that's really to sum it up. Like, I'm really for my people, and everything that I do is in relationship to advancement of my family unit and also the community. And I'm a creative, so like I love to create projects. We've, created a number of brands and have been involved in a number of just projects. I just love to see visions come to fruition, and so that's my gift to the world.
100%.
Absolutely.
So my name is Rima Calloway. Everybody calls me Amy. I am from Lakeview. By way of San like
Shout
Respect.
out. City, shout out. San Francisco.
We all connected. And I am somebody, I've always been fighting for the liberation of black folks, whether it was like dancing, through organizing, like Pop said, being creative and creating things. I am very creative, so I like to go into like arts and visions and like different productions. But the way that I am being creative now is through clothing and through food. I'm somebody who likes to connect folks. I'm very intentional. Consider myself an elder baby. So I like connecting to a lot of the elders because that's a lot of the history. I'm really good with like the history of like some things in San Francisco, and I just love being able to be in this world doing this work with my best friend.
Okay, 100%, I agree. Like y'all said, y'all are supportive of everything black people do. Y'all pro-black, just like I am.
Straight up.
So I got a little surprise for y'all.
Uh-oh. What you got? Uh-oh.
Come on.
Check them out.
All right.
This shirt right here is theirs, literally. This is their shirt. I got this from them. I'm support Supreme King because, like I said, this is Supreme Queen.
Straight up.
Yes, thank you.
I just wanted to let y'all know this is a surprise to have y'all in store. Like I said, y'all, similar to me, I support everything that my people do, no matter what it is, as long as it's legal.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I just wanted to get that out there.
They're one of the original shirts.
Absolutely,
Like
exactly.
2013.
The first joint, right?
When we first came out.
Yeah.
I remember.
Through with
This
that.
collector's item right here.
Right.
All right. Let's get into it. Can y'all tell me what is a vegan hood chef? What is vegan hood as fuck? Tell me something. I don't know. Explain what this is.
I like that shirt too, but
Thank you.
Thank you.
Vegan is fuck, good as fuck, right? So, we started this journey really based off of our personal relationship with food. Like, we were in college at TSU. Shout out.
Definitely.
I thought you knew.
And I think that was our first experience being away from home, where we were really able to focus. I don't know about y'all, but we take care of our grandmothers. There's so much when you grow up in your own community, where sometimes it's hard to really know how to like be in tune with self. And so through that process, we learned about health. And like I started taking on a vegan diet because I was diagnosed with high blood pressure. But they tried to diagnose me with high blood pressure. And was gonna put me on pills, and they're like the stress of college, X, Y, and Z. And you know, going to an HBCU, we was having nigga catfish Friday.
Right.
Y'all had the fish fry too. We did too.
Everything.
Fried chicken Wednesday.
Cauliflower was fried.
Nigga, I'm saying, so like, my health was affected by these things too. And so like I started researching, I'm like, oh, okay, like there's a correlation between what I eat and, you know, like my health. So I started changing my diet. At the time I had a little boo, you feel me, who was vegan, who had me watching all these vegan documentaries, and I'm like, okay, but at the same time I was gaining the wealth of knowledge. And you know, all my friends was like, what's wrong with you? Like, you didn't cut your hair off.
I was one of them. And whatever her transition.
Hey, it's not your real friend if they don't listen.
I used to be like, girl, we lived together. So she was going through her own like journey, and specifically with her program she was with. She was in a social work program, and they were teaching her healing as an African perspective. And I was going through business management, and some of the things that we were learning was to assimilate in order to be into corporate America.
Right.
So one day I come home, she's bald. And I'm like, hey, for real though, what are you doing?
Culture shock.
Hey, for real.
Like I got my weave still, and we would be cooking, and then she'd be like, oh, I'm turning vegan. I'm like,
and I had the little, you know, the handouts, you know, the truth handouts they would have for like nicotine. I had the handouts around veganism, so it was like chicken
in the coop, like 20 of them on the refrigerator. And I'd be like, what is she doing? Like, you know, of course we would talk, I would talk this. But through that, like seeing her transition, and it was inspiring. So she was telling me like, let's do a fast together. So I was like, all right, shit, okay. And then after we did the fast, when we got back here,
and off the say, I was able to cure myself. So like, I started working out and able to cure myself with my diet, and I no longer have a high blood pressure issue. Which they would normally say is hereditary in my family. Like my grandmother suffers from high blood pressure on both sides of my families. And so like that was big for me, you know? And even though that was big for me, I felt like, you know, like this is information we need to disseminate to the community. And so like by the time we transitioned, we graduated and got back here, we were really like, we did a fast, and he was like, okay, like,
and I was like,
better.
I ate a piece of chicken after, and it felt like I had a hangover. And I don't drink like that, so I was like, damn. So we started to like challenge each other, like through social media. What you eating today, Pops? Eat me what you got. I got water, juice, you know. So we used that as a way to like show our friends what we were doing, but also hold each other accountable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think through the process, like we created a social media account called the Vegan Hood Chef just to post recipes that we were doing. And then one of our friends, shout out to Breezy, the twerk goddess, she was hosting an event where she needed a lecturer, and she had a lecturer, and she was also needed a chef, and she was like, I know y'all cook, and the chef back up at the last minute, can y'all put some shit together? So I know you cook. So we didn't make I don't think our intention was for this to be a business. And so we did that event, and ever since then it's really just been up. And I think, you know, we come from a community organizing background, and we felt like, you know, we all know growing up at Hunter's Point, we got the McDonald's, we got the
everything that's bad for you is
and we've always been taught that there are a lot of health issues in the baby, but nobody talks about how like that's linked to food justice or like the lack of access. And so we were able to also engage in work in our community organizing around that. And we were like, okay, well if the community needs this, let's turn it into a business, and it just took off from there.
We like to say the community chose us. And as community organizers, we got into this business, well, not into this business, but the early parts of our journey was around food justice. And, you know, in Baby Hunters Point, Lakeview, we know that the war is waged on Black folks in several ways, whether it's inter-community violence, whether it's criminalization, incarceration, police brutality, but also, you said earlier, food desert. And so I was working with an organization called the Hill Zone, the Department of Public Health, and we were actually really looking at the stats of the communities. And then what they did was they were like, this is a T-zone, but unfortunately the T-zone was Hunters Point, all the areas where black folks live.
Predominantly black, of course.
Predominantly black, right? And we learned that through that work that there was a Whole Foods produce market in Bayview that did not serve it. So some of the work that I was doing earlier was going to these different stores and creating a relationship with the food market to offer healthy food produce. And through that, we were able to redevelop 3 corner stores in Bayview with the food gardens. Lee's Market, Kennedy's Market, and Ford's. And eventually the city was like, oh, the Bayview got it popping, let's take it over. And they made it a citywide ordinance. But that was some of the early work of us and the Third Street Youth Center food garden.
Yeah, black synergy is everything, 100%.
We got some deep sisters up in
No,
here.
absolutely.
Come on.
Absolutely.
Let's stop for a moment. That's not regular, okay? I gotta give y'all mama some more. There's some more. There's some more. Okay, go ahead.
Absolutely, but like you guys are talking about, like obviously you're serious about like your holistic practices and stuff like that, which are frowned upon pretty much, and a lot of people don't think that this stuff is helpful and beneficial to your life. Just kind of, I want y'all to just tell me or just try to elaborate on what y'all think, or say if I'm the normal person, which I am. I'm a chicken eater. I'm a steak eater. Pork in moderation. Tell us the benefits, or not just the benefits, but give us like kind of a breakdown of how. Because I've tried this to do vegan, and I just went cold turkey. Had a headache, and that's the wrong way to do it. But if y'all can, so it's a 2-part thing. Just tell us how, if I'm a person that consumes the wrong things right now, and pretty much is just what we're talking about. If I'm like I said, a chicken eater, steak eater, tell them like a listener to tell them like what's the benefits of becoming vegan, and then the process of becoming vegan.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is like, veganism. First of all, I would say because veganism is hella popular now. And there's a lot of money being pumped into it, so people are like being like, just recognize that it's a process, Like it took me, I've been vegan for some years, but it took me a process in order to be able to get there. So you don't, go cold turkey if that works for you, but like I feel like sometimes people in the vegan community who don't look like us be shaming people. Like especially folks from our community, when a lot of how we eat is hella traditional. Like we've been eating pork chops and ham hocks and all the shit because our grandmothers taught us that. And I think, like we want to approach it from a different lens. But I know your total life expectancy based on research will increase if you uphold a vegan diet, Like, I also believe that we know that 80% of African Americans from ages 18 to 49 are more likely to suffer from heart disease. And that's a statistic from the CDC, And so I think most of it is really like, how can you create a relationship with you? Be able to be aware of what your relationship to food is. Because we don't even talk about that. Like, we just be eating. You feel me? And sometimes we eat because we've experienced a lot of trauma, right? And so we overeat, or we eat because that's just what's in our community, and nobody talks to us to even think about what we're eating or why we're eating it, And I think that's the first step, honestly, that I would give to anybody, is just like, be aware of what your relationship to food is, and then make those adjustments based on where you see yourself in the future, So like for me, like I don't think it's a one-size-fits-all thing. If veganism doesn't work for you, that's fine, but there are also other ways that you can eat healthier. But I think that when you start with a basis of, like for me, like I need to eat a diet that's conducive to my lifestyle. So like, I need to eat fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, I know for me, like she said, the relationship to food is important. When you are, for me, I was a chicken eater. And so it took me a while to transition. I'm not even gonna lie, I was a struggling
Shout out to the chicken as a whole animal, straight up.
I was a struggling pescatarian for a while. And it was just because I knew, like when I was at home and I would smell the food, I was like, oh, I know what this smells like. Let me get this chicken. But when I would eat the chicken, it would make me feel sick. And so one thing about that is listening to your body. You have to really pay attention to your body, because your body tells you exactly what it is and what it needs. And also, when you are eating vegan, you can eat shit that is like chicken. Like we do a lot of jackfruit. And surprisingly, jackfruit tastes like chicken. Cool, you have chicken and waffles.
100%.
But and then like I've been watching like documentaries like What's the Health, and they're saying like chicken is worse than smoking cigarettes. So it's like, if I'm gonna eat a piece of chicken, that's like smoking 12 backwoods. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so
Make me question myself.
I think it's like, and when you listen, like when you learn and do more research about the food, you start to learn things that you can eat that can supplement some of the stuff that you're doing. Like,
Yeah.
niggas is popping mollies for energy and all that stuff. You could pop some blueberries, which is a natural energizer, and be good. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there's things that you can do to supplement your lifestyle. And when you are like eating, make sure that you can, in the beginning, just start subtracting shit. Don't eat too much bread, put some salad on your plate, take one piece of chicken instead of 4, like, you know what I'm saying? And like
4 wings,
eat one, like, you know, it's a process, and it's not gonna be cold turkey. Some people can do it cold turkey.
Yeah.
Me, I wasn't my process.
Yeah.
I didn't either.
That's different. You have to have a different mentality.
Before
Before we
those blueberries, they shamed me on trying to order a Red Bull. Red Bull? I forget that. I'm gonna pop some blueberries. Okay, I got that.
Before we go forward though, we gotta pay some bills, of course. Shout out to Trademark
Shout out to Trademark
for allowing us to use this space. Black-owned business as well in San Francisco.
Man.
I'm very humbled and appreciative of you guys allowing us to use this space. Thank you. Just to let y'all know that. But back on topic. So me and my guys, literally all my best friends, we have entered into the cannabis space. I don't know if you guys are smokers, yes, no?
You know I'm a smoker.
Absolutely, okay. So I want y'all to give me a story, or, not, if y'all don't want to get too personal, you don't have to, but just give me a story of when you first got smoked, when the first time you smoked, if you remember, and then your highest moment that you can remember. Because I know that when you are high, you forget some things. So, yeah, if you remember. If you don't remember, it's totally understandable.
Your second highest moment is the highest.
I can talk about it's a little bit embarrassing, but the first time I got high, I was in 12th grade. I mean, not 12th grade.
Late boomer.
No.
You lying.
I'm lying. I was in middle school. I was in 7th grade. I was 12.
Oh,
okay.
And I was going through a midlife crisis. I went to school after my sister, who used to beat up everybody. So when I got there, nobody was fucking with me. They was like, and it's different because I went to school in Daly City.
Okay.
So I'm from San Francisco, but my mom was like, you're gonna go over there for better education or whatever. And I went there, I was miserable because nobody wanted to be my friend. So the first time I got high, I was in Lakeview and I was sitting on the hill on Arch. I was high as fuck and I was crying. I had no friends. Nobody wanted to fuck with me because of me it's horrible. And they still talk about me to this day.
Yeah.
And for me, like, I don't remember the first time I got high because my family is a family of smokers. And I had my older brother who was transitioning. He used to sell weed. And so I do know I used to steal weed from him. And our house was kind of like the party house. So we used to have folks, come over and smoke. And I do remember one time when I got one of my friends high, who was high, and we used to have this like window out to where my bedroom was, and you could sit on top of the roof and kind of see over 3rd Street. Look at Ruben, like, and then we got, he like,
I was around the corner.
And so like we went on top of the window, and one of my friends was like so high, she was fucking howling and shit. What? I'm like, bitch, you gonna get us in trouble, like, you gonna get us in trouble. You out here howling like, you gotta be careful when you smoke weed.
What was the second part?
No, you already did. Y'all answered it.
Was that your highest moment when you were
okay? I think when we went to Texas.
No, yeah, that
when we first went to Texas.
Okay, elaborate on that.
We was like, we about to get 10. We about to get the 10 sack. They gave us the weed and it was like this big. And so we was like, we poured it out. It was like boof, like it looked like a car rolled it over and parked for 48 hours.
Okay.
So we were smoking that. Then we started getting good weed, like California weed. And we was rolling Vilas out there.
Total difference, yeah.
And well, she was rolling Vilas. I don't roll. She was rolling the Vilas. And we had one partner from DC That was
Oh my God, I remember.
Oh my God, we was high as fuck.
I just took y'all all the way
We
back.
were high as fuck. And he was standing up, and mind you, he about 6'3", 6'4".
6'7", bitch.
So we sitting there, and we in rotation, and it was crazy because in Texas, they smoke with you. It don't matter. You know, in
I'm
California.
here, you like, you ain't put fire on
They'll skip the blunt over you, right? So we in rotation, he walked up, so we smoking. This man must have like hit the blunt twice and like eyes roll behind his head and passed out. Like in front of us, and we were like, what the? It was like, hell nah, but you know, in Texas, you could go to jail for a long time for a high set.
For being high.
So, for being high in general, so.
Different regulations.
It was different, but that was one of the highest moments. It was like, God damn.
Okay, so obviously y'all was telling me a little bit about, so y'all got started a little young. So just to kind of segue into some, change the light a little bit, tell me a little bit about each of you guys' upbringing. I'm more than sure it's similar to mine, us being black men and women.
Right.
We grow up a certain way. It's not, everything is not given, there's no silver spoon. It's totally different. So just for the people, just kind of tell us your story. You don't have to get way too personal into it, but as much as y'all want to, allow us to understand.
Right.
Well, I'll start. I mean, we both, I'm gonna speak for you, but we identify that kind of way, and I think our relationship is so strong. We both were raised by our grandmothers. And my
Shout out
grandmother,
Grams.
yes, shout out to Grams.
Dorothy.
Grams came from
Daddy
Louisiana, similar to hers, and moved up here, and was a registered nurse and worked really hard to provide a foundation for me. My father took care of me earlier on, but my father was like a huge crack. He was a drug dealer in the early 80s, and he transitioned, due to that lifestyle. And so, my grandmother was a huge part of my upbringing because I felt like she embodied a lot of what it means to be a strong woman, and I do think, coming up in that age group, it was a lot around assimilating to white culture.
I got that.